Everyone knows that rich people make their money by running big companies and corporations, but no one knows what they do behind the scenes to actually get filthy rich. I have spent the last 2 months trying to study over 125 success case studies, trying to look for patterns as to how these people actually achieve monumental success. And what I have discovered is quite shaking. In this video, I am going to break down the top 5 boring investments that rich people do to actually get rich. And the third one is something that you wouldn't expect. So, without further ado, let's begin. The first boring investment that rich people actually invest in is knowledge. The prime example that we can use for this example is Elon Musk. You see, Elon Musk was someone who used to read a lot of books. He was someone who used to learn from the best from his generation. In 1976, he started his first ever company called the Zip2. What is the Zip2? The Zip2 is more like Google Maps in today's world. But in 1976, that was one of the most groundbreaking thing you could ever do, because it allowed people for the first time to use GPSs. It allowed people for the first time to have a picture of their local map. Use news anchors use that to report breaking news in their local cities. And guess what that did to Elon Musk? It funded him the capital to use in order to start his growing businesses that today we know to be Tesla, today we know to be PayPal, today we know to be Twitter or X.com. But those businesses wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for Zip2, and Zip2 wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for the knowledge that he acquired from reading immense amount of books, from studying how he can actually invent something out of nothing. Because remember, in 1976, there was no such thing as a cell phone. There was no such thing as a smartphone. But he had the idea to say, if I can start something like this, I could be the first one to introduce this to the world. And guess what? After reading countless books on how to code, how to actually build websites, how to actually create imagery from nothing, he finally found a groundbreaking experiment that led to his $1 million run. In today's world, Elon Musk is worth over 776 billion US dollars. Now he just recently signed a new deal that is going to make him the first ever trillionaire in existence. All that came from him having to apply the knowledge that he read all over countless and countless books that teaches him things that he never knew before. So how can you apply this into your own world? You need to understand that the best ideas comes from things that have already worked in the past. So the thing that you have to prioritize is reading books from people who actually made a lot of money, people who actually got rich. Those people will teach you the exact fundamental ways that they have used to achieve monumental success and riches. And if you read consistently a lot of books, guess what happens inevitably? It unlocks your brain capacity to think of what you could do in the next upcoming future to become one of the greats. And when you have such knowledge, all that you have to do is just act using the principles that you have learned from the books, and you will achieve monumental success. The second investment that rich people actually invest in, that is boring but actually works, is they invest in building skills. The prime example for this is actually Steve Jobs, the founder of Apple products. How did Steve Jobs achieve his monumental wealth? You see, Steve Jobs was just another nerd who liked computers in the late 80s. He wanted something more than just a computer. He wanted to discover or to produce something that humanity has never ever touched before. He liked to code. He knew that if there was such a way to bring the ordinary cell phone into something extraordinary, he would gain a lot of money. And guess what Steve Jobs did? He used the knowledge that he acquired from years and years of learning how to code. And guess what he invented? The first ever smartphone in history. The first ever smartphone. And guess how much money he made off of just using skills that he learned from the previous years. Guess how much money Steve Jobs is worth today in this day and world? Steve Jobs is worth over 10.2 billion US dollars. And today his company Apple is worth over trillions. How did he achieve that? He used skills that he as a nerd used to obsess over on a day-to-day basis. And how can you implement this in your life? If you have particular skills that you like, you could use those skills and you could find a way in order to leverage those skills to sell or help other people improve their lives, and you charge a price for those skills. If you do not have any skills in particular that you think people would buy from you, guess what you would do? You'd hop onto YouTube and you would sell and you would search the top skills that are necessary or high paying skills in 2026, and you would learn just one of those skills. All you need is just one skill. Put yourself in a marketplace and people would hire you to just improve their lives or make their lives much better. An example of a skill that in this day and age it is high paying. What we can talk about is people who understand how social media works. You see, there are a lot of companies, traditional companies, that want to hop on to social media, but they do not know how social media works. And if you could learn how social media works, how the algorithm works, guess what you could do? You would use that knowledge and you would approach local businesses in your area and tell them that if I can able to help your business grow, make more money, you can just pay me more money as you get more customers online that will buy from your company. And guess what? They are more than willing to pay you the amount of money that you wish to charge them. All that you have to do is actually hop onto YouTube, search how to actually grow on YouTube, how to actually grow on all the biggest social media platforms. And after learning those skills, you approach those companies and you pitch them the idea. And guess what? The more companies that you pitch is the more money you make, because a lot of these companies don't know how actually social media works, but they want to hop onto it. The third investment on our list is investing in quality connections. So what do I mean when I say investing in quality connections? What I mean is there are some things in life that you can only get when you know the right people. Let me use myself for example. You see, 5 years ago, I was a poor kid from the villages, knowing nothing, knowing no one, but I knew one singular thing. I wanted to become rich. I wanted to build immense amount of money. I wanted to become someone that when you look at, you understand that this person has worked hard for his entire life. But guess what? Coming from the villages, there's not a lot of opportunities. When you look to your left and you look to your right, everyone besides you is someone who is just struggling as you are. Guess what? One particular day that changed the whole trajectory of my life forever was a day when I actually went into a rich man's house who lived nearby in our local village. I asked him the most simplest question to other people, but to me was the question that unlocked all my full potential. I asked him, how did you actually attain such riches? Because I have been on a search for such riches for a long time, but I couldn't find those riches. For over 4 months, I have spent every single day with him, learning from him while also working in his household. But those 4 months that I was working there for free, he was actually instilling knowledge that will help me today make over tens and thousands of friends. And guess what? He actually taught me the ways that he made his money. He taught me how businesses work, and all those 4 months I was actually building a connection with him, because he introduced me to people that I never actually thought I would meet. And those people brought me into one of the biggest business deals in the century in South Africa. And today, in this day and age, I have understood that in life, in order to make it, it's more about who you know than what you know. And if you can build a quality connection with people and build a network, guess what? Success is more inevitable than ever. So how can you implement such things into your life? Then my friend, you are in luck, because I have started a community that at this very moment houses over 462 entrepreneurs that are learning on a daily how to better improve their businesses, how to better improve their lives and their finances. And if you want access to this community, all that you have to do is click the link in my bio and you will be redirected into my community where you will start learning on a day-to-day basis how businesses work and how you can capitalize on them to actually make riches. The fourth investment that rich people invest in that is boring but makes them wealthy is building systems that are boring. You see, in this day and age where 99% of the population is looking for the golden formula that makes them rich without them having to put in any effort, people that are actually rich do things that are boring, repetitive, things that are not worthy of being put on social media. But those things actually print them money. The prime example for this is Warren Buffett. You see, Warren Buffett has to be one of the most biggest geniuses, has to be one of the most greatest people in this generation. Because when people invested in the stock market, most of them were actually interested in when it goes down and up, and they capitalized on the ups and downs of the stock market. They thought that they could make themselves rich quickly by capitalizing on the stock market. And guess what? In today's day and age, none of those people are remembered. And guess who is remembered? Warren Buffett. And his strategy was simple, straightforward, but that strategy printed him millions. And guess what he did? He just looked at the stock market, looked at companies that recently started, that do not have a lot of money yet, but have the potential to grow into millions of dollars. Guess what he did? He just invested money into that company, 5K, forgot about it for 10 years straight. And guess what? After 10 years, when he looked into that account, that 5K has grew into lots and lots of money. While people were trying to capitalize on the market going up and down, trying to reach riches as quickly as possible, he just did the most simplest thing. He dumped his money, forgot about it, and waited for it to grow over a long period of time. And guess what? Today, in this day and age, Warren Buffett is worth over 102 billion US dollars just by using one simple boring strategy. And now he is in the names of the history books for eternity, because he changed a lot of people's lives just by sharing to them how he actually attained his riches. The fifth but not least strategy on our list is investing in health. A lot of people, when they think about health, they don't understand that health can be used as a weapon to make riches. A prime example for this is Floyd Mayweather. You see, Floyd Mayweather came out from one of the poorest cities in USA. He was raised by a single mother, and what Floyd Mayweather did while he was young will forever be remembered as one of the most courageous things that you could ever do. Because when he came from school, instead of writing homeworks, instead of going out to play with his friends, instead of going to parties, instead of doing X, Y, and Z, guess what he did? When he came from school every single day, he would put his bag down and he would go into the gym and he would start exercising. He would start practicing on how to box each and every day. It doesn't matter if it was Saturday, it didn't matter if it was Sunday, he was in the gym every single day. Guess what Floyd Mayweather turned out to be? Today, he is a retired boxing world champion. He never lost a single fight in his entire career. And guess how much Floyd Mayweather is worth in today's age? 1 billion rands. All by just weaponizing one thing: his health. So how can you improve, or how can you apply this into your own life? You can just choose, take care of your health. Each and every day, dedicate each and every day into building a better body, into becoming more healthier. And guess what? When you have reaped the rewards of becoming healthy, you can help other people that also want to get healthy, but they don't know how they can do it. They don't have the courage to hold themselves accountable each and every day, and you can train them. And if you have a studio that houses over 10,000 students that want to exercise each and every day, you can charge them a premium of 1,000 rands each and every month just to train them on how to exercise 2 hours a day. And you actually make immense amount of money just by teaching other people how to exercise, how to be healthy, and how to be like you. As a recap, there is 5 ways or 5 boring investments that you could do. The first one is you can invest in your knowledge. Build better knowledge. Read from the best of this generation and use those skills or those fundamental principles and apply them into your own businesses. The second way is you could invest into building skills that are high income, and you could use those skills, render those skills into companies and actually charge them money. The third way, or the third investment, is you could invest into high quality connections that actually pay. The fourth investment is you could invest into systems that are boring but actually work. The fifth investment is you could invest into weaponizing your health and using it to gain leverage and make you money. Now, here is a common pitfall that many people fall into when they start to invest. Many people want to do all of these things, but there's something that you need to pay careful attention to. You see, all of these people that I have just mentioned here have one thing in common. They picked one strategy and they went all in on that one strategy. Floyd Mayweather did not decide to build quality connection. Floyd Mayweather did not decide to build his knowledge. He picked health and he stick to it. What you have to do is pick one particular investment that you think you are better at and stick to that. And the fundamental key that will ensure that you win is to never stop. Once you pick it and you stick with it until it works, because that is the golden formula in everything in life. It is patience. You pick one of them, you put in patience, and guess what? you will become immensely rewarded by those investments. And ladies and gentlemen, if you want to learn how to fast track that and how to build your own businesses like I did, scale them to tens and thousands of rands each and every month, watch this video right here.